Yo, what's up guys, it's Traizel, and today I have for you a tutorial on how to make some good factions commands on your faction server on Bedrock Edition Minecraft. Now if you have a realm on Bedrock Edition you're trying to do factions and you're struggling to figure out what to do, what kind of commands to do, how to do claims, maybe some TPAs, how to do seasons, what kind of money to do, then this is the kind of video for you. And also before I get the video started, I just want to say if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and like the video, and let's get started. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to add ranks to your game, as well as rank rewards to keep people wanting to play, as well as rebirth, which is a thing I have on my server, which I can show you guys how I do that, as well as claims, gens, TPAs, seasons, and anything else you would need for your faction server to make it stand out from everybody else. Now first and foremost, obviously, on any server, including faction servers, you want to have a very pretty spawn. Now that's just easy, very easy to say, but you want to put a lot of work and time into your faction spawn. I do have another video about this topic. It's a video called how to make a proper faction server. It goes into more detail about the simple commands like putting everybody into adventure mode and how to make a faction spawn. This video isn't really about that. This is more focused on faction commands like claims and stuff. So if you want to watch that video first to get a little bit more of an idea on how to make a basic faction server, that video is for you. And if you don't know how to do any of these shops, I have a video on how to make certain shops. I do not have a video on villager shops. I could make that in the future if you guys want to. Now, if you don't know how to make a bank, I'd recommend watching my video on how to make a bank. I'll put that in a link in the description too, or you can look it up on my Minecraft tutorials page. Let's say you have spawn set up, you have a money system set up, and now if you have a bank set up, given that you have like a virtual currency, and you have a commands area kind of set up. Now, obviously in factions, you're gonna want to have a nice claim system. How it works is you go to the shop. So here I am at the shop, and I have it in utilities here. This is the wrong one. This is the dude right here, and you can buy not a diamond gen, any of these size claims. I have 3 sizes. Let's give me an ender portal, and then I'm gonna buy one. Oops. Now I have a large claim. Now if you see, I can go to factions. Now I'm in factions because the way I do this is it only works in factions. The reason I do that is because if you were to drop this thing in, like, say spawn or something, it might accidentally spawn it. So you want to have it to arrange only in factions, and I can show you how you do that. Now I drop it and it spawns a claim. Let's see how this works. So it spawns this little claim here, and it's gonna game mode A at everybody that's in survival within a radius, and it's also gonna tell everybody within that radius that the land's claimed. So if I turn it on, it says the land's claimed. Very simple. So how you want it to be set up is you want to have in the commands area kind of like a master claim. Now I have all 3 of my sizes right here. One for the small, medium, and large, and they're all the same, just different sizes, different ranges. And you want to figure out the coordinates for them. You kind of want to get the first coordinate, second coordinate for the /clone command, and then come over to your other command that's going to actually kind of clone it when people place it down. Say just large claim. Now these are all the same, except it's just for the different name. So the first command is going to execute at all players that are in survival inside factions. So you want to get the size of your factions map. So the middle of my factions map, actually, I use D commands if you know how to use those. Otherwise, you can just do a range and like from the middle of your factions map. What I do is I go from the one corner of the map at the very bottom, and then I just use D commands to fill up the entire box. So it basically just covers all factions. And then you execute at all entities that is an item that's named large claim. And also what I do is I give a little code here. You see, I use color codes, so TRESR. The reason I do that is so it's a little bit harder for people to name an end crystal. So if they buy an end crystal or get another one, they could still do it, I guess, but it's a little bit harder is to just rename it large claim, and they get a free large claim essentially. But I guess people could still figure it out. It's just not as easy. So try to make like a little bit of a code in there It's your choice, I guess. And then also with a range of 5. So essentially what it's doing is for all people that are in factions, the factions map, it's testing for any entity that's an item that is named large claim with that code in a 5 block radius from them, and then it's going to clone that claim that we put in the commands area on top of that item. So if you drop that item that's named large claim in front of you and you're in the factions map, it's going to clone that thing over there where you're at. And then afterwards, it's going to do the same thing, execute all players and the item, and then it's just going to, instead of cloning, it's just going to say claim set at you. You don't need to do this, it's just more of a aesthetics thing, so it looks cool, I guess. This is required as well. It's going to, same thing, execute all players and the item, same command, except it's going to kill everything that's type equals item within range of 5. So it kills that item so it doesn't keep doing it. Otherwise, you just keep doing it over and over again. It only does it once. And both of these are going to be conditional, so it doesn't keep doing it. It'll only do it if this one's true. And the same is going to be the same for the small and medium, except the name's going to be different. It's going to be small claim. The name's going to be medium claim for this one. Now on my server, I also have things called diamond gens, which are these things right here. Basically, what you do, it works just like claims. So how the command works, it tests for all players and factions, like I said, and the item that's named diamond gen, and it'll clone that thing where you're standing, just like the claims. And then it's gonna say diamond generator set like the claims does and kill the item. The exact same thing, just a little bit different. And what this thing does, I have bedrock around it to prevent people from like connecting redstone to it and stuff, because it's very important. What I do is you have this lever here that activates this bedrock block that'll activate this redstone block that'll kind of set itself to a redstone block. The reason I do that is so that the redstone block then will activate this repeating command block, and then the repeating command block will then every so often, 600 ticks, will set up this block to diamond or this empty space, and then it'll destroy it, so that it'll keep repeatedly slowly give them diamonds, which is, you know, essentially a diamond generator. The reason I don't like let them have a lever there and they have to turn on the redstone block is because they could just switch it on and off and then make it like 100 times faster. So make it like this. If you do this, I would highly recommend making it just like this. It's probably the safest way to do it to prevent most people from cheesing it and cheating their way out of it. Another thing I do on the server is obviously like pets and cosmetics. And if you want to have a good way to make money and have people buy stuff, you can have like a VIP. Now with VIP on my server, I give them the ability to fly and spawn and in zones, as well as I give them this glow effect so they can turn it on and off as well in spawn. So you just execute on all players with the tag VIP glow. So when they do get VIP, you just tag them into VIP, and then in spawn they can turn off this, press this button to turn off their VIP glow. And if they're tagged into VIP glow, it'll give them this particle effect if they're in spawn, because spawn is at the origin 0, and it'll give them a range of 1,000. So if they're in factions, they won't get the particle effect because it's too far away. I have the same for trails. If you buy a trail, you get this tag, and then you can turn it on and off. Same thing, it's within a range. I'll quickly show you guys how that works up in spawn to turn it on and off. VIP fly, you have to have education edition for this. You can't do this in normal Minecraft, because on education edition you get the slash ability effect. For example, you can go slash ability, Traizel may fly true, and that's how you let people fly if they're not in creative. So what I do, because I don't want people to be able to fly in factions, is I test for people that have VIP, the tag VIP, and they don't have a tag flying, and then it's testing if they're in spawn, which this coordinate is in spawn in range of 1,000. Then if they do have the tag VIP and they're not tagged into flying, it's going to give them mayfly so that they can fly now. And then what it's going to do is it's going to tag them into flying. So it'll only do it once. So basically if they have VIP and they're not tagged into flying, it'll give them flying, and then it'll tag them into flying so that the game knows that they're flying. And then if they go to factions, so it's going to test for all people that have that are tagged into flying, which means they have mayfly on in factions. So this is the coordinates for factions, and a range of like 15,000. It's going to set their mayfly to false, and it's going to remove their tag from flying so that the game knows that they're not flying anymore. Now here we are in spawn. Now they can come over here to the cosmetics area, and you can turn trails on and off. basically what this does is it sets a redstone block down here, and it's pretty simple. All these set redstone blocks based on what you do. This one doesn't do that. This one actually just tags at the closest person with a range of 7. If they have the tag VIP, it just sets their mayfly to true. This one's for a trail. So let's say they wanted to turn their trail on. The thing up there would set a redstone block here. The first one would set a redstone block there to air so that it doesn't keep repeating. Then this would execute for all people up there. So the coordinate up there, you can see right here, x equals, y equals and z equals in a range. And then if they have a tag of trail owner, which is the tag for people with trails, it's going to test if that person does not have a tag of trail 1, which is the only trail we have right now. And if they don't, it's going to add them to trail 1 and tell them that their trail is active. And if you remember, the command down in the commands area is always active, and it gives everyone with the tag trail 1 that particle effect. It's going to be the same for VIP glow. Set that block to air. Then everybody with VIP is going to test if they don't have the tag VIP glow. Then it's going to add them to VIP glow and tell them that their glow is active. So basically, down there, if you have VIP, you can turn it on and off by giving them 2 different tags. If they have VIP glow, it'll give them the particle effect, but then they can remove the tag by removing the tag and pressing the button. But they still have VIP, they just can remove the VIP glow tag to turn on and off the trail, because some people don't want it on all the time. This is just to turn it off. So tags, it tests if they have the tag, it'll remove the tag and tell them that their stuff's been deactivated. Okay, so another good thing you want to have in your faction server are TPAs, so that people can teleport to each other if they want to teleport to someone's base, or just teleport to somebody if they're stuck, obviously. So it's very simple to do that. I believe the TPAs are over here somewhere, right here. The commands, you're gonna have 2 different papers. There's gonna be TP accept and the TP request. The TP accept is the one that you drop if you want to be teleported, and the TP request is the one that the person drops to have that person teleported to them. So how this works is you execute at all entities with the name TPA request, or TPA accept, sorry, and then basically that person drops it down, and it's going to TP that person with a range of 5 to everything named TPA request. So say someone wants them to be teleported to somebody, that they're going to drop down an accept, and then that person that wants them to become to them is going to drop down a request, and that person is going to be teleported to them. And then the next 2 are just going to kill the entities. Now you want these to be unconditional so that it always does it, because sometimes people drop more than one and it really glitches out the system. So you want to just do it unconditional. So even if people aren't using the system, it'll just kill them all the time. But if you do that, just make sure it's on like a tick delay of like at least 50 so that it doesn't do it constantly, or else it might not work. And I have 2 different channels so that people can have options if they want to. It prevents people from like glitching the system. Say you're trying to teleport to somebody and you say it in chat, then somebody could like use it and teleport to you without their permission, So it really helps to have different channels. Another really cool thing that I have in my server that you could definitely use on yours is called ranks. It really encourages people to keep playing, and if you add rank rewards, that's another good way for people to keep playing and wanting to come back. What I do is I have this thing called time played. It's a scoreboard, and you want to add people to it constantly. So scoreboard players add all people to time played 1. And what I do is I have it on a tick delay of 1500. So every 1500 ticks, it'll add everybody to time played. Now what this command does is, this is the first one. Now it wants people to get to 50 time played ticks. I'm gonna set a redstone block here to activate this command. After you get to 50 time played, that's about an hour. So every hour you're gonna rank up once. Now you can make it a little bit more. Usually what I do is every 10 minutes in the past, but I've made other ways to rank up. Like if you do a maze or a parkour, you rank up as well. So I make it about every hour, but it's up to you however often you want to do it based on how you set up your server. So what I do, once people get to 50 ranks, you add them to a different scoreboard called ranks 1. You just add them 1 to the scoreboard called ranks. And this will be the actual scoreboard that you display on the side here. Then you get them money, do whatever else you want to do. I give them a little bit of money. I play the level up sound, and I also just tell them that they leveled up. I reset their time played so that it keeps going. And then I set that block to air so that it doesn't stay there. And also I have like different levels. Like once you get to like rank 3, it's going to do the same thing. It gives them a little bit more money. level up sound, say something cool. It's gonna add them to a tag. Now there's several reasons why I do that for my server. You can do whatever you want with that. Like for example, you could like make it so like to play a certain maze or be in a certain area, you have to be a certain rank. And you could, for that, you could just make a command like, you know, say like TP at a tag equals not learner. So it's gonna TP everyone that's not a learner yet. Range equals 50 back to spawn. So say you have like a parkour that's like extra rewarding or something, and you want to have people like be a certain level to do it. This is how you do it with ranks. And then these are all the same, just like higher ranks. You have apprentice, mighty, supreme, overlord, and I also have another thing called prestige. Once you get to godlike, which is rank 100, gives you all the money and stuff, and it resets your ranks again so that you can start over. It adds you to a score, a new score called prestige. Now there's two really cool things I do with ranks and prestige. One of them is rank rewards, which I'll show in just a second. The other one is rebirth. The rebirth, you have to be prestige 7, and I make this cost a bit of money. So this is rebirth 1. I'm gonna make 4 different rebirths. Right now we have rebirth 1 and 2 set up, and I'll have 3 and 4 set up later. And it costs a little bit. I'm gonna make it cost, you know, a weapon that you get from a quest, as well as some chunky amount of money. And then you press the button, put the stuff in here, and it'll do all these commands. First, it's gonna test for somebody in the area that's not tagged into rebirth 1, because that's what it's trying to do, is trying to tag you into rebirth 1. Then it's gonna test for somebody that's in the area range of 10 that's got prestige 7, because if the prestige 7, that's what is required. And it's gonna test if this block, oops, let's drop that, which is what you need to put in the chest up there. It's gonna test if this block is the same as the block up there, which is the chest up there, if they're the same. And if that's true, then it's gonna tag a person up there that's prestige 7. It's gonna add them to rebirth 1, and it's gonna do a bunch of other things like open their chest, tell them to open the chest. It's gonna set their ranks to 0. It's gonna, this is all the stuff for the level up chest, which I'll show in a second. And then it's gonna say on the server, it's gonna broadcast that so and so has ascended to rebirth 1. How you do that is you just say at P with a range or whatever, however you want to do it, and then it's just gonna say that person. So person up there is gonna say their name, which is pretty cool. That's gonna reset their prestige, as well as clone this chest, which is their extra reward, which is Traizel armor. Now another thing I do with rebirth, which is the main thing I do with rebirth, is I give people constant effects. If you get to rebirth, this is kind of the main reason you do it, is if you're tagged into rebirth and you're not in creative, I will give you constant absorption, constant jump boost, constant speed, which is actually really good. As well as if you are in rebirth 2, you'll get constant strength, constant haste, and constant absorption. I know it's a lot to take in, it's kind of confusing. Hopefully it makes sense. If you have any questions, just let me know. You can message me on Discord or something. So like I said, the other thing that you can get with ranks is rank level up chests is what I call them. Now let's say you get to rank 8, which is apprentice. You can open this chest and get the reward from it. Same with supreme, overlord, and prestige 1 all the way up to prestige 7. Now say you got to level 8 and you want to open this chest. How it works is very similar to the rebirth, just a little bit different. It tests for a person in a range of 10 with tag apprentice, which, like I said earlier, this is a good way to use those tags. So when you get to that certain level, it tags you, and this is a good way to give you that prize. And it'll test if you're tagged. And then it also tests for that person that does not have the tag level 1 opened. The reason I do that is so people can't keep opening the chest, because if you have the tag and you press the button and you get the reward, you just keep pressing the button. So this is so that people can only open it once. What it's going to do is it's going to say the person has opened up the crate. It's going to play the level up sound. It's going to tell them to open up the crate for their reward. And then it's going to tag them into level 1 opened. And then it's going to clone this chest up there, which will look something like that. So basically, once they open it for the first time, they're going to have the tag apprentice. They're not going to have this. All the other commands will go through. The second time, it's going to tag for apprentice, but then suddenly they're going to have this tag, so it's not going to work. They can only open it once, and it's all the same for the other ones. They're all the same. It just has a different reward inside, and they're like a different tag. So this one will be tagged for, I'm guessing, Supreme or something. Yep, Supreme. This one's going to be for Overlord, and it's going to be a different tag here too. This is level up 2. This one's going to be level up 3. Just have to change it for each chest. Now, one last thing I'm going to show you guys that I do in my server before I end the video is a seasons system and a seasons rewards kind of thing. So obviously in factions, you're going to have different seasons. Every like 4 to 6 months or so, you're going to reset the map so that people can play again and people want to keep playing. Now, a good thing to do with that is to give people, reward people for playing in previous seasons, which is very cool. It keeps people wanting to play, and if people will see that they played in a previous season and they get rewarded for it, they're going to see that they want to keep playing. Now what I do is I have these things right here. These giant, they're pretty big, but it's how you reset the map. I don't reset the map, but I reset the players. So what I do when I start a new season is I reset the whole map, make sure there's no stuff in chests, reset the factions map, and then I activate this for the new season. Every season you gotta create a new one. So this one was from season, well, this is the reset one. Just to reset people if you need to. This one was from season 1, from season 2, and then when season 4 starts, I'll make a season 3 one. So I'll try to explain this the best I can to make it sound as simple as possible. So first of all, say you started your very first season. You want to make this thing over here that'll tag people into season 1. Most welcome. So this thing will announce new people, and it's also going to tag them into something that'll basically tag them to, so that the game knows that they've been in season 1. So this is going to tag for someone called new 3. So this basically means that they are new to season 3. Now if you were in season 1, you just say 1, new 1. And then it would say welcome this person to your server. And you gotta say welcome at P tag was not new, because that's what they are. They don't have that tag. And then you tag everyone without the tag of new 3 into new 3 or new 1 or whatever you want to call it. Now, at the end of your season, everyone that played in that season will have that tag. So everybody who has that tag played in that season, if you know, it makes sense, right? At the end of your season, you're gonna make this thing here. Because now that you're in season 2, at the end of your season, you are done with season 1. Everyone who joins from that point forward will have not been in season 1. They are starting in season 2. So now what you do here is you test for at a tag equals new, which is the tag that I used in season 1. So if you join in season 1 and you're joining in a new season, you have the tag new, but you don't have any of the other tags. Like for example, if you join in season 1 and you're joining now for the first time in my server, you're gonna have the tag new, but you're not gonna have the tag new 3. So this tag is gonna be like, hey, this dude was in season 1, and he has stuff in his inventory that needs to get cleared and stuff, and he also needs to get his rewards. So then what it's gonna do is it's gonna find him. So it's gonna set a block here and activate all this stuff. So it's gonna set a block there to air. It's gonna put their spawn point to the starting area, wherever you have that in your server. It's also gonna clear their inventory. It's gonna clear their effects too, in case they have any effects. Now this right here will clear their ender chest. So if you don't know how to clear their ender chest, people's ender chest, this is how you do it. Place item entity at all players with a tag of new, or you can do anything else you want. Slot.ender chest, and you start with the tag 0. There are 27 slots in a chest, in an ender chest or any other chest. 0 to 26. So you go with 0, air, and then you go 1, 2, all the way to 26. So eventually we'll get to 26 here, and that'll clear their entire ender chest. See, so now their ender chest is empty. They have a clear inventory, clear effects. Now it's going to reset their money. It's going to reset their ranks, their time played, so that they're basically starting all over. Remove all those tags I was talking about earlier, as well as the scoreboards that I also use. Don't really use it much anymore. And also what it's going to do is it's going to tag them into a new tag called Season 1. Now this tag will be the tag that tells the game that this person played in Season 1, which you can now use for seasonal rewards. And that's going to remove other random things that you need to remove from them that you use in your server. And then it's going to TP them to the spawn point of the server, wherever you have that. And it's going to remove them from the tag new, so that it doesn't keep doing it. So now that they have their seasonal tag, their reward tag, what you can do is in your starting area, which I have over here, say they got teleported for the first time, they're joining the new season. What you can do is you can make a starting area like this. They press continue. Now instead of like coming here to start, you tell them that they played in a previous season, they can get their reward. So if you played in Season 2, press this button. If you played in Season 1, press this button. Well, basically what it does is it just teleports at P with a tag of Season 2 to a different area. And the same for this one, but it's going to be Season 1. And if you played in a different season, you have that tag. So say I press this button, it'll TP me because I have the Season 2 tag. And you get your nice seasonal reward for being a veteran. Same for this one. If you played in Season 1, you get the OG stuff for playing in Season 1. And a little bit of extra cash to start off. That's how you do some nice cool seasonal rewards if you want to do some seasons. That's pretty much all I had for what I do on my server and everything you would probably need to make your faction server stand out from everybody else. Now if you like this video and you like this kind of content I'm doing, don't forget to subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and don't forget to like the video. I hope to do a lot of things like this in the future, and as always, peace out everybody.